State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
I'm very pleased to welcome the author of a brand new book, Data Money Inside Cryptocurrencies, Their Communities, Markets, and Blockchains. Welcome, Koray Caliskan. Congratulations on your book. It's a very big deal to publish a book. I know this isn't your only one. I just want to kind of start with kind of a very big question here, which is that you note in the book that you spent some time in a detention center and also under house arrest in Turkey. And I'm wondering if that personal experience in any way informed your views about crypto and the use cases for crypto.
Hi, Emily. Thank you for having me. I don't think they're related to each other. It was about my writing in Turkey, and that was like many years ago, like 5-6 years ago. And I don't think the research and the conclusions and this experience are related, but thank you very much for recognizing it.
Okay, just wondering, because sometimes, people's views on crypto are shaped by those kinds of experiences, so we thought we would ask you. But okay, let's get to the book then. So the book really emphasizes the importance of referring to cryptocurrencies as data money. And you really make a point about why this definition is really important and this term is really important. Can you explain sort of in the most simple way why it matters that we call this data money?
Thank you. This is a great question and wonderful way to start it. I think we're misunderstanding, misrepresenting, under-regulating, and misregulating crypto because we fail to understand what it is. Today, it's like 13th century again. Marco Polo comes back to Venice and tells us that, look, there's a new money material. It's paper. And some people who think that only metals can be money, like silver and gold, keep describing cryptocurrency or paper money that Kubilai Khan invented in 13th century as some kind of a gold, some kind of a metal, soft gold, soft metal, with analogies. We are witnessing a new money material. We are monetizing the right to send data. This is not digital money or online money. Cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency. We don't have to change the name. But social scientifically, we need to locate its money material and the accounting infrastructure that it entails. Because they do not understand the money material that cryptocurrency is made, we also tend to misunderstand what it is. Very much like the parable of the blind man. For instance, SEC calls it a security like an asset. IRS calls it a property. CFTC calls it a commodity. Some economists call it money. Some people call it not money. Electronic money, which is fine. We are prototyping what cryptocurrency is. We are in the beginning of the second decade of cryptocurrencies. My research that entailed a computational text analysis, 2 years of fieldwork among communities and one of the largest exchanges in the world, and also talking to many actors, showed us that we invented a new money material. And it is data money. Because
that's a great explanation, and I agree with you that the emphasis on data is important. However, I do think that some people don't think of cryptocurrency as a money, not for the reasons you said, just because like people aren't using it to buy things. Like it's actually more simple, right? Like it's not like I see what you're saying that some people might not think of it as a money because it doesn't look like gold or dollar bills or whatever. But I think some of it's just way simpler. Is that like the idea of Bitcoin is you're supposed to use it to you can use it to buy things and to pay for things, and people just aren't doing that. And that's one of the main arguments against Bitcoin is that it's just not being used in the traditional form of money.
That's a very good point. However, there are three different functions of money: as debt, as currency, as fiat. And in some places, cryptocurrencies are used for money for exchange. In others, they're used for deposit of value. In others, they are used as debt. We don't use most of US dollars for buying things. It is used to represent movements of capital. We create US dollars digitally as debt. You can't just touch it, and you can't buy bread with it. Most of US dollars are used as a representation of value in order to move our economies anyway. We are looking at a new type of fiat currency. And in the future, we're going to be seeing its enlarging importance.
So you did have an experience, though, a personal experience, which would probably affect your view of crypto, and that is, of course, inflation. I remember the days of the Turkish lira being $1 million or so to $1, and going up a lot, going down in value from the times when we had Turkish lira coins. And it was within your lifetime, your money went away, your value went away. But you're talking about regulating cryptocurrencies, and nonetheless, one of the appeals about cryptocurrencies is that it's transnational. So how do you square those two ideas? How do they work together? The idea of a transnational currency, and yet at the same time something that can be regulated by states, which have shown there in many instances, as your experience has shown, to not be good stewards of their monetary policies.
Lawrence, great question. And I really like your Turkey guide behind you. I watch your show and it's just next to, I really love it. I'm actually in Turkey right now, right in the middle of all of you. Amitaj is in India, so good evening, good morning, good night, Japan. That's a good question. I think if we assume a national fiat currencies to be hegemonic and dominant, we address this question in one way. If we think that we enter a multiple monetary universe in the future, we address this question in a different way. In Turkey, we had a huge inflation. We still have. Right now, I had I bought something, but while I was waiting, dollars value went up, and then Turkish lira value of what I bought also went up. It was really crazy. I don't think cryptocurrencies will be for or against inflation, or helping or not helping inflation, because it depends on how fiat currency could be used. Right now, we do not have central bank data money. Because of this, the state has to wait until all data monies are converted into US dollars, because the money that the state, thus the public, uses is slower and low-tech compared to data monies or cryptocurrencies that we use right now. In the future, very much like merchants in Venice realized the importance of paper money, they convert their gold and silver coins into paper money, and that an international community began to use paper money. We're going to be using data money and its variety of forms. It's only less than 2 decades since this thing started, and we're still learning and prototyping. Our politicians do not understand what's going on. I was watching your program 2-3 days ago. One of the senators said, I wish our central bank would never have a cryptocurrency, a central bank digital currency. Nothing could be wronger than that, because if you do not have this, you cannot follow the movement of new monies, data monies, as fast as they move. The public needs to have also a central bank digital currency, the nature of which is going to depend on our democratic procedure of discussing the meaning and the uses of a multi-money universe in our new economies.
I just want to congratulate you on the book, of course, because the way I read the introduction of a 230-page book was where you talk about how you spoke to 112 people and only 2 came on record. You were embedded yourself in a crypto exchange that you did not name to protect your sources, of course, which we as journalists obviously understand. But I just want to separate 2 things out here, because you're obviously talking about, in the book, global regulation, and you're also talking about US regulation, where the SEC and CFTC, of course, and the Congress emerge as the leaders. And the 2 separate questions I have, I'll get to the first because it's slightly technical. And the context behind this is that the G20, where India is the president right now, is leading the conversation on framing global rules. And it's kind of putting it out there that it represents the global south, the emerging economies as opposed to the advanced economies, the G7s, Japan and the US and European countries. And in the book you write, my research shows that the proliferation of cryptocurrencies is in fact supporting the dollarization and euroization of world trade, not posing a threat to sovereign fiat currencies. And this is exactly why global south nations, led by perhaps India, say they don't want to support the proliferation of cryptocurrencies. The Indian central bank governor has said this is exactly why we don't want to support it. So did you look at how dollarization and euroization is not in the interest of some other parts of the world through crypto?
That's a very, very good question, Amitaj. We're just starting to carry out serious social scientific research. As far as I know, this is the only longitudinal analysis of a cryptocurrency community. This is also one of the first I believe it's the first ethnographical research, an extended research on how a cryptocurrency exchange works on the ground. I did research with an exchange for more than 6 months. We don't know what the impact is going to be on the non-West. For the time being, we know that most crypto communities are white, are Western, are male, and are very educated. The data is incomplete. We need to carry out more research about it instead of assuming it. However, cryptocurrencies as a money material are drawing on better technological accounting mechanisms, blockchains. Thus, they are better in economizing resources in order to produce, circulate, and benefit from a variety of monies. Logically, this would help non-West and global South. But for the time being, the West is also quite slow in adopting this technology because we do not know how to locate legally and social scientifically this novelty. Marco Polo came up with paper money. Some of us say, oh, this is not gold. It can't be money. Nobel laureate economists like Paul Krugman says, cryptocurrency does not have real service. Nothing could be wronger than that. It brings a lot of service, material service.
All right. Well, thank you, Koray. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time. That was Koray, the author of Data Money. Congratulations on your new book. Thanks so much for joining us.